Yeah, but why you get to sit over there?
Because you want to choose over there.
Okay.
You still going boot camp? You save your money. Hey, listen, this might be the last podcast ever. So, we might as well know something else to do, all right?
Yeah, I'm surprised you made it this week.
Yeah, we barely did.
Barely. All right. What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Shannon.
It's your man, Terance J.
And this is The Last Podcast.
And the reason we call it The Last Podcast is...
Well, depending on what happens on the show, we may not be able to come back.
We barely made it back. Barely. We glad we here right now.
Yes.
Because it almost didn't go down today.
Yeah.
But we here.
You
here. Thank you so much.
Disclaimer. If you are offended very easily, log out now.
And you know what? Log out now, because we didn't even put our disclaimer up this week.
We did.
Hopefully you guys remember that from last week. It's going to be the same.
It's going to be the same.
We're going to be friends after this.
We are going to be friends after this.
Yeah, we're going to be friends after this.
If you are offended by fat shaming,
log out right now.
Because
do us a favor. Don't email us.
Please don't.
Don't inbox us.
No.
Don't even comment.
Go talk to your pastor.
Talk to somebody
else. Your therapist.
Don't talk to us.
Go call your state senator.
You know why? Because we talk about you. Okay?
You will be in the next last podcast.
So no, don't do that. Because really, it's a sport for us. Okay. I think we had a class about that in high school. I think you had to learn how to talk about people. You know, it's not bullying. It wasn't bullying back then.
No, you know what? It wasn't bullying back then. We were just going on each other.
Going on each other. Like, don't come.
I mean, this new generation was
soft, man.
Anyways.
Soft. But
anyways, welcome everybody back.
Yeah.
To all our viewers, we had such great feedback from last week, so thank you so much to everybody who came back to see us again.
Yes, appreciate you guys.
Especially since this really may be the last podcast.
Yeah.
And if you are new to the podcast, welcome. So we want to start off by saying rest in peace to John Lewis.
Yeah.
We lost a legend and a really great man, civil rights activist, and really all around great guy from what we've read and what we know about him.
Yeah.
We had a little mix up.
We did.
As in we.
Yeah, we mean Marco Rubio. He said rest in peace, John Lewis.
Yeah.
But he had the wrong picture. Marco Rubio, I got a little news for you. That's not John Lewis, okay?
That is Elijah Cummings.
Yes, it is. If you had to put the name on that post, it would have been perfect because both of them are dead. But that's not who you named, okay?
No.
And so just to let you know, Marco, all black people don't look alike. That's not John Lewis.
Right. But
there's one question we got, though. Which one of you Negroes is John Lewis? Okay? Now, I know what you're thinking. Like, yeah, it's you don't know. I guarantee $500 most of y'all couldn't pick out which one. Tell me that these two brothers don't look alike.
Okay, so in the case when we say all black people don't look alike,
this is not what we're talking about.
This is not what we're talking about.
This is not what we're talking about right here.
However,
most black people don't look alike. These two, they do. Okay, so Shannon, which one is John Lewis?
John Lewis is the gentleman on my left.
Okay, you're probably wrong. Because they probably watching this in a reverse camera angle, so they like, I don't know what y'all seeing out there, okay? But here's the thing: you see that hesitation? It wasn't hesitation because she didn't know her directions. She was trying to say, which one is John Lewis? Yeah. So we don't all look alike, but in some cases, we do look alike. Okay. All right. So,
yeah.
But rest in peace, John Lewis. John Lewis was a man who, one of his famous sayings was, if you see something, do something. Go get in good trouble. We always get in trouble for, different things that we choose to get in trouble for. But if you're going to get in trouble in some good trouble.
Right. That changes the world. And that's exactly what he did. So.
Exactly. So rest in peace to him. I mean, one of the great civil rights leaders and icons, and you know, it's been
one
a
of the founding fathers of the Selma walk.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So,
And so to be able to have people that's around for so long who lived through that history that
yeah.
we are now trying to really re-educate ourselves on
Yeah.
and really be able to pass on to the next generation, because a lot of people in our generation, we have found out that we had to go through and learn this stuff and get it for ourselves.
Selves.
So we want to make sure that we are the change. We might not be the radical ones in the street, but we want to be the ones that are gathering information to pass on to the next generation,
yeah.
so they can pass it on to
Yeah.
them.
Great.
So
Great.
rest in peace, man.
Rest in peace. And rest in peace, Elisha.
Yeah, both of them. Yeah,
Because
yeah.
they both gone.
We don't know
Anyway.
which one. We don't know which one y'all was, but y'all look alike though.
Yeah.
Let's just
So
not forget
anyway.
that.
So how was your week?
Yo, man. Hey, listen, I've had a lot of stuff go on.
Uh-oh.
And
Tell us about it.
well, first of all, I had to get a shot today. So, tetanus shot. My arm still hurts. So if y'all don't see me moving this on too much because it hurts, I don't like shots.
He don't like needles.
I don't like needles, man. Let me
Big
tell you,
old.
if somebody tell you that I killed myself with an overdose with needles, I want you to stand up for me. Don't let me go out like that because I didn't do it.
If somebody said that he killed himself with an overdose of donuts, believe that.
You know what? You might have a point there.
Carbohydrates and calories.
I'm a recovering donut addict, and I hadn't had any in a while until today.
Can't tell.
Wow, that's what we're doing. Already getting started early. Okay. Anyway,
I'm just getting it going.
you just get
going.
yeah. I know it's hard to get all that going. So anyway, man, listen. Let's talk a little bit about black businesses, right?
Oh, okay.
Specifically, black restaurants.
He had an experience. Go ahead and share.
And I had an experience through a recommendation of somebody that I'm not going to name names to. But she said, "Oh, no, TJ, go try the sandwich, TJ. You should
good.
go there, It was good." So I go and I say, "Hey, I'm going to go try this," because my girl say, "Yo, it's good. Let me go out and try it."
It was one of the best sandwiches I've ever had.
All sandwiches are the best sandwich you ever had. So I go out there and try it. Now, here's my problem, right? And first of all, I'm not going to name the name of the restaurant because I'm not going to put out bad pub
Right.
where this could be a one-time mistake,
Right.
right? And we know that with our businesses, we don't have the financial footing to take a knock on something
Right.
like that. So I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to talk about the situation. All right. So I wanted the chicken sandwich, and I wanted it plain. I didn't want any mayonnaise on it. So I specifically had the conversation. It was like, yo, I want a chicken sandwich, no mayonnaise. All right, cool. So I get it. My mistake. I didn't check
He
it.
did not check it before he left.
I didn't check it before I left. So I drove the 10, 15 minutes home. I don't like driving for food. I get all my food close, okay? I don't like waiting on it. But,
You don't like walking
I
your
took
food either.
I took the 30-minute wait. I went and got my food.
Which is pretty good for this particular establishment.
Okay, so, well, I got home, and it had mayonnaise on it. So, now here's the problem.
I
The
hate
problem is
mayonnaise.
not the mistake. The problem is how you handle the mistake.
Right.
All right? So I called. Okay.
Were they rude?
They wasn't rude. It was more of a. I'm not going to even say dismissive, but it wasn't accommodating.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So what happened? I said, hey, I gave a call. Hey, I was just there.
Right.
I said, this is what I want on a sandwich, and it sounded like she remembered who I was. She said, okay, just bring it back. Not we're so sorry this happened to you.
Yeah.
You know, our mistake.
Yeah.
If you bring it back, we'll be glad to switch that out for you. Just
Yikes.
bring it back. Boom. Okay. So I go to bring it back. So I get there. Now, so I give the box with the sandwich in it or whatever. They take the box. Now my head is saying, don't bring out the same box.
Yikes.
And cook me some fresh fries.
Yikes.
Same box, cold ass fries. Okay, now here's the other thing. Let me tell you how this should have been handled. And this for all you out there with businesses that deal with
Right.
customer service and things like that. This is how this should have been handled. When I called and said, "Hey, the sandwich was made wrong," your response should be, "We're so sorry about that.
Right.
If you can you bring it back in now? If you can, we'll be glad to replace that for you." And if I say yes, you ask me, how long would it take you to get here? That way, when I come in, it's already ready.
Prepared. Right.
But that's not what happened.
And maybe something should have been comped, like a free Kool-Aid or
because
you're half off on your next something.
Exactly. So what happened is I give her the box. She takes the box and she goes to the back with it, right? Now, I have to wait another 10, 12 minutes.
Right.
In my head,
yikes,
what I feel is that you wiped it off and refried it. And threw it back in the grease, let it fry, and then give it back. That's what in my head, that's what I feel. Now, here's the thing. The reason that's justified for me is because, or why I feel justified in thinking that way is because when I get it back, it's the same box. My fries are cold. The sandwich is back in there. Now, the mayonnaise had ran off the sandwich all into the fries. So you give me that back, and I'm sitting there saying,
no.
Yo, that's not how that's supposed to handle. How it's supposed to be handled.
So did you say anything to them about or you just took it on the chin and kept on going?
I took it on the chin because
you were hungry.
That's a joke. I wasn't that hungry. I wanted to try because I was trying to patronize, black
our
business.
People, right?
All right. So, but the thing is that I didn't say anything about the fries because really I didn't check the fries when I was there. I just saw the sandwich. I was like, cool.
Right.
So I got in the car, started driving home. I'm like, I'm gonna grab me a fry. Whoa.
Yikes.
So you take that box, you discard the whole thing. You remake the whole meal and give it back to me in a fresh box because it's about presentation.
Right.
Presentation says, hey, you have a fresh meal. We apologize for that time, and then you go through and give me that. So that's all I'm saying is that when we talk about patronizing our businesses, I understand everything might not be done on purpose,
but we can do better.
Have to be intentionally on giving great customer service because I hate to say this, Chick-fil-A would have took that box. If they hadn't said, they might would have said keep it, but they would have took that, threw it away.
Yeah,
and
Chick-fil-A would have fed your whole family just for coming back. Here you go.
Here's ice cream too.
So I would like for us, and I say us, I mean Black-owned restaurants, businesses, or whatever. We understand that you have a dynamic product, a dynamic service, food, whatever it is. The customer service has to be just as great and dynamic as the product because just because we are all Black people, we are still consumers of goods and products. Yes. And when we pay our money, we want to patronize you, but we want you to also reciprocate that love back to us in customer service.
Yeah.
Because if you have great customer service, but your product isn't that good, it's okay. I will still probably go back because of the way you made me feel.
Yeah, there you go.
But if you have a great product, but your customer service is bad, I'm not going back. No. I'm just going to say it was good, but...
And the problem is a lot of times with our businesses, when we operate in the hood, meaning where we are, a lot of times we have a captive audience.
Yeah.
So that means that a lot of people walk there, a lot of people it's close to if you don't have the transportation to go other places.
Right.
But I'm in a position where I can go wherever I want. And with that being said, I don't have to come back here. And so but guess what? I'm saying all this and I'm going to give them another shot because I really could enjoy the sandwich then.
Right. And the sandwich is so good.
I've heard great things about it. But again, it puts such a bad taste in my mouth that I was like, I can't even enjoy it right now. I've driven 45 minutes and my fries are cold.
I bet you'll check your box next time.
I will check my box next time. And I will not assume that it was done the way that I asked. I'm going to check it before I leave and make that drive back. So yeah,
great.
That was mine, and I'm just saying, we got to do better. We got to make sure we do better all across the board.
Yeah.
I run a business, and I am adamant about making sure that I do right by the customer if there's something that goes wrong on my side because that wasn't you had nothing to do with that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But you had liposuction this week. I would ask you how it worked out, but. That's why you got the COVID test more than once, right?
First of all, no, I did not get liposuction. However, if there is someone who would like to contribute to me getting liposuction, I'm all for it, okay? I will drop my email address, my Cash App, my Zelle, or whatever.
What's your Cash App? And they better be used for the right thing and not a Happy Meal.
Anyway, yeah, I had to just do a minor procedure, gastroendoscopy, and I had to take the COVID test
twice.
I had to take the COVID test twice. And here's why. My original date was last Tuesday, and I had to take the COVID test on the prior Friday. And I took my COVID test. And that Monday, the day before my procedure, I get a phone call from my surgery center. And the way that the lady was beating around the bush, it was almost like it's like she wouldn't tell me I had malaria or something. I was like, oh, like, do I have it? So she says, thank you for taking the test, for coming. We appreciate you, getting tested. However, all of the tests that were taken on Friday are not viable tests because we did not store them correctly for the lab. Let me tell y'all something. If you never had the COVID test, it is not pretty. They stick this little thing all the way back up. It's like I felt like they scraped my brain. And it was a whole week, and my nostril was still in pain. So when that lady told me that I had to take that COVID test over again, I was not happy.
It was funny to me.
Laugh at my pain.
You laugh at mine all the time.
So I had to retake the COVID test. I had the procedure done yesterday. However, Monday, a lady from my doctor's office called me and said, hey, Shannon, we just spoke with the surgery center, and they said that you didn't take your test on Friday.
Sound like you had a hood doctor, okay? Because I don't know what type of doctor you go to where they mess up your test and then turn around
and lose it.
Lose it after you do take it.
I don't know what to tell you. I said, look, I took that test, and if y'all can't find, if something goes wrong with this test this time, I am not having this procedure. Not there at that old ghetto place because I don't have a lot of confidence in this surgery center. So that was my week.
Yeah. But there's been a lot of stuff went on throughout this week that didn't have anything to do with us.
Jesus.
Right? Now,
well,
for you, someone near and dear to your heart,
my best friend in my head,
Tamar Braxton.
I'm everybody send up prayers for my girl Tamar. If you know me, then you know that Tamar is my best friend in my head. She can do no wrong in my eyes. She is one of the best vocalists. You can't match her vocals, okay? Not too many people can, so not too much on Tamar. But, Friday, if you haven't heard, Tamar was rushed to the hospital with an attempt suicide.
Mm-hmm.
And
allegedly,
and it was very sad. It took me to a sad place, but I'm praying for her. Mental illness it's
serious,
and it's serious with us. But we make fun of it
we do make fun of it because how we were raised. Something wrong with that boy.
Yeah,
are they funny?
Yeah.
And think about it. Anything, listen, in black households, whether you were mentally ill, whether you were gay, whether you just was dumb, so it's something funny about the boy.
Yeah.
Just let him go over there and eat dirt by himself. I mean, we don't
ever address the problem. And so what happens is it's a lot of us walking around with,
and
with
some
these
sitting down next to me too.
Who's on the other side of you over there? Oh. Yeah, so I was shocked because of the way that she lately she's been really trying to, I guess, change her image and change who she used to be, and and the love for her son Logan, and she has all these other projects coming up.
Does she want to be a brat no more? Oh, my bad. You said not too much on her today. You said change who she used to be.
Not too much. She was never a brat. She was just, I understood her. Like, for some reason, she was misunderstood by...
Yes.
Anyways, Tamar Braxton, my best friend. I'm praying for you, girl.
Yeah. So, here's the thing is that, anytime we remember, talking about the suicide of Whitney and, how tragic that was for somebody to, anytime somebody takes their life, it becomes a saddening thing because you always wonder, like, man, was there somebody around that could help her?
Did Whitney take her life? Was it by accident?
I don't know, but guess what? Your lifestyle and how you living could be
Yeah.
perceived as taking your life. I mean, there was a downhill spiral that just didn't seem to stop. And you know what? Guess what? When you get engulfed in
Yeah.
drugs like that, that becomes a mental issue.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was watching that, and then when you hear, Tamar was unresponsive, and feel what you want about Tamar. She's
Yeah.
a sister. She's a daughter. She's
She's
a
a
mother.
mother.
And the thing
She's
is,
a best friend.
yeah, to not you. But she has, she's from a famous family. We got a chance to watch the show,
Right.
and so when you watch that, it's kind of like you don't want anything bad to happen to a person like that, and then it's one of those things where you say, man, you intentionally said, okay, I want to end it all,
Yeah.
and what goes through your head when you say, I want to end it
Yeah.
all.
And see, and I think sometimes we feel like depression looks a certain way. And that's not the case, because I've battled with depression, and I'm not like low, but there's so many things. I've never wanted to, commit suicide or anything like that, but it's
You will kill a buffet though.
and this is why
This is the last podcast.
But yes, I will kill a buffet,
Yeah.
and so will you.
I mean, hey, it is what it is.
So anyway, get better, Tamar. We all
Yeah.
root for you. I'm praying for you, and it's a let's remove the stigma of mental illness.
Well, mental illness is running rampant. It seems like now
Speaking of
with
stigma.
all the things that are going on. My man, August.
Let's take a drink on this.
January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. All right, let's stop right there at August. You
Almost
you and Jada had your entanglement. Okay.
First of all, it had died down.
That's what I'm saying. You said your thing. You put it out there.
She responded.
She responded. Okay, we're
She
done.
and her husband responded,
And
and
we're
he
done.
said, "I can love you through anything."
Yeah.
Okay, Will, it's my kind of man.
We're not even going that conversation.
We will one day.
But now you're in a situation where you say, let me drop an album and call it Entanglement. Okay.
And Rick Ross, you hop your long to that. Why would you even get into that mess, Rick Ross? Really? Like, come on. You're a grown man.
A grown-ass man. I don't, listen.
Would you have hopped on that?
Never.
I don't care how hot the song is.
Never.
Unless
Unless I had something against Will Smith. If I just said me and him got beef and I don't care about him. But if you don't have anything against Will Smith.
I just feel like there's a certain way in my head and the way that I was raised, around the men that I was raised around. There's a certain way that grown men should operate and move. And so far, Will has been the only one who kind of operates the way that I feel like, he stood by his woman. He's taking the jokes or whatever, but he's a protector. He is the head of the household, so he's taking on all of this. Even though his wife threw him in the spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
But come on, August, like, shut up already. I'm tired of you. I'm so tired of you. And who cares? Okay, so what? I'm over it. I'm over it.
And I'm like, yo, that's.
And I'm not listening to that song.
I'm like, that's.
But I did read the lyrics.
And you know what? I heard Rick Ross' verse. I hadn't heard the whole song, and my first thought was, dude, everything ain't right to be on. Care how hot or how much money you think you made on it. That's just my opinion. Rick, you do what you want.
Now remember, Rick Ross was the same dude, Professor Clump, who went to the hospital and then came out skinny. You didn't go to the hospital for dire needs. You went and got that surgery. Now all of a sudden, bye, Rick, you're canceled.
I mean, listen, if you got anything against anybody with baby mamas, you should be going out to 50. Because, I mean, y'all had y'all own baby mama drama on that.
Speaking of 50, but we're going to have to do a whole show on 50, okay? Because
50
needs to sit down somewhere.
50 got time for it all.
50 need a hug. Like, he needs some therapy.
50 got time for it all. Listen, he is a professional troll, okay?
He is.
And he just laughs. To him, it's like, it's all jokes. He's like rapper turned comedian. This is what he does. So when I see 50 do it, I'm just like, yo, I'm here for the jokes.
I am
And
so over 50.
and he just listen. I enjoy Fifth, man. So but again, we talk about mental illness. I do believe because hey, they talked about it. He was sick, mentally, physically, and everything
Right.
else. And so I don't know if those issues have been healed because he's still going
I
and
don't
doing
think
things
he's been
like that.
rehabilitated. Yeah, I don't think.
Man, that healing power box didn't get him all the way there. So maybe sometimes when they
Made him
go to
crazier.
sometimes when they go to shock you, you got to do it twice. So maybe he need to go back.
You know what?
Because sometimes
No, sir.
the healing power
No, sir.
in the box. Sometimes like my man Roddy Ricch say, you got to go put the stick in the box, and then try it again when it don't work the first time. I think Aaliyah had a song like that, right?
And no, yeah, she did have a song like that.
First
but,
you don't succeed.
But this is what not.
Dust yourself
No, we
off and try again. Hey,
we are not advocating for him and Jada to do nothing else. Okay, stay away. First of all, Jada, don't do it again. First of all, NDA.
Yeah, but I mean now behind closed doors, somebody did vouch for why she think he did it, but we ain't gonna even get into that. Anyway, continuing on this mental illness train we got going on. I know you guys see my shirt.
Yeah.
I want the old Kanye back. I miss him. I really do. Kanye West.
Oh wow.
Kanye West had a presidential rally in South Carolina.
One of the Carolinas.
One of the Carolinas.
I don't know why we have two, but
and I heard for people in South Carolina, I have been informed that they call it the real Carolina because that was Carolina first and then North Carolina. A little history, don't worry about it. Kanye got on stage and did his Kanye. I don't even know what to call it. I mean, can we call it anything but Kanye did Kanye?
Yeah, Kanye Kardashian has lost his mind. Yeah. First of all, you
what
know what?
Say? But what did he say though? He said Harriet Tubman did not free the slaves.
Okay.
Right.
All she did was
help black people stop work for one white person and help them work for another.
Okay, and you have a theory on this.
I have a theory on that.
What is your theory? Listen to this, guys.
Kanye West, to me, is... I'm not going to knock that his brain has some power in it, right? Some genius-like power on, like, the way he thinks about stuff. He's a terrible communicator, all right? He is horrible. He's a stupid genius, all right? So you put those two together, you say, hey, man, wow.
I don't know about genius.
No, listen, what I'm saying is, I mean, when you add in his music and his marketing and things like that, so I'm not saying that he's the smartest person in the world, whatever, but there are a lot of genius people on certain levels, right? What I believe that he was trying to communicate in the way he probably should have communicated it was not to listen. When you say anything about Harriet Tubman, that's a non-starter. Okay,
look,
that's like going up and trying as a white person trying to stop racism and say I got black friends. That's a non-starter. Don't do that. All right. So Harriet
Tubman to us is like Ronald Reagan to white people.
Listen, we love her. Okay,
we love her,
and we still waiting to get on their 20.
And Harriet Tubman actually did something for us.
Yeah.
But okay.
Okay, but let me finish this though.
Okay.
So if I think I know what you wanted to say is when Harriet Tubman freed the slaves, she could only free them into another system of oppression. Let's create systems to where when we free ourselves now, we go into a system of freedom. So when you start off saying, well, she didn't free the slave, well, listen, okay, if somebody cuts your foot off because you try to run away, and then somebody just tells you that you have to live in subpar conditions, but you're still free, that's better than being a slave. Harriet Tubman was doing the best that she could do at that time.
At the time.
Yeah. But if I think I know what you're saying it was not a better place to free the slaves to as far as overall freedom and enjoying the American dream. So if you want to create a situation where Americans, black Americans, brown, whatever, can be in a situation where they're treated equally and have the same rights and opportunity, say that. But don't go for the shock value all the time.
That's too much like right. And you know what? I really don't care for Kanye. I haven't cared for Kanye in a while, especially with this stupid hat on. What I did not like was the way that he attacked the young black lady.
See, I didn't see that
at the rally. Yeah, he was basically, she was fact checking him, and another young lady also did the same thing, but she was white, and he gave that young lady a hug, whatever, but he just kind of went off and on this rant on this young black lady, and she was on Instagram, and she kind of gave her side of it, but. When I woke up this morning and I, saw all of the tweets from Kanye,
yeah, he kind of went off.
I did. I felt really, my heart went out to him because I could see that he was unraveling. And I had a conversation yesterday about Kanye, and I was saying, mental health is real. Like this is a real thing, and this is, he's bipolar, and somebody tried to challenge me. Well, all of the non, physicians or non-medical people who don't hold medical degrees, whatever. I was like, well, I don't hold a medical degree. No, I don't. However, I do know that he was admitted inpatient, for his mental disorders, but it doesn't take someone with a medical degree to see somebody unraveling, unspiraling, and so it started yesterday, but this morning. Is what really caught my attention, and I'm like, okay, because black people, we will cancel you quickly, and I'm like, we don't need to cancel Kanye. We need to really figure out what we can do to. I mean, if you believe in prayer, pray for him, or whatever you believe. Send good vibes or whatever you believe in. But because this morning was we witnessed. A goat, one of the goats, unraveling, and
he keeps doing these over and over and over. And
yeah.
what you
I
fear
think it's a cry for help.
It's something, because let's be real. I got the shirt say I miss the old Kanye, but the old Kanye died with his mom.
Yeah. Okay. So and somebody said that, and somebody made a good point. However, I don't think this person has lost their mom based on how they kind of based on the context. But they said that he can't keep blaming the loss of his mom on his behavior, because it is up to him to start healing. And it's up to him to choose healing to get better. And I agree with that.
Me too.
However, the loss of your mother, I don't care how old you are, the loss of your mother is a totally different ball game that nobody is ever going to be really prepared for. And I can understand some of his pain if that is also what's going on with him, that void is gone. And his mother seemed to be his foundation.
She was
his rock.
Yeah.
And so of course that's gone. And then Kanye is a narcissist. Kim Kardashian is a narcissist. You put two of them together, and it's kind of like they're trying to out
narcissist each other.
Yeah. But and she released a statement, and the statement was, I guess, it's kind of PR to me, but
I mean, everything they do is PR.
Right.
So,
but shout out to Dave Chappelle, because Dave Chappelle, instead of tweeting and whatever, he jumped on a plane and went to Wyoming, and he checked on Kanye.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
I mean, Kanye gonna be in the next special. That's just
Kanye gonna be in the next special.
He gonna be in the next special, but he went to go check on him.
He did.
And I think we need that. And so many times I think we from afar, we don't know a lot of these people personally, but
right.
The people you do know, go check on them.
Yeah.
And if you see something that's looking abnormal, try your best to create a safe space to where they can be able to maybe release something and or say something to
right.
you that might be freeing to them.
Yeah.
But if we sit back and say, "Nah, just gonna leave them alone," they funny.
And the reason why we do that is because of our own insecurities, and we don't know. We're barely hanging on ourselves, so we don't know how to steer this person, a lot of the times. And then we don't want to have to face the real issue. This person has a real problem.
Because when you acknowledge it, then there's work that comes with it.
Yeah, and we don't want to
do the work. No, we don't do the work. No, you know what?
We don't want to do our own work. We don't want to help you do your work. No, that's not going to work.
It's easy to sit up on the last podcast and just talk about you. I mean, to do the work. Because when you acknowledge something, you do have to say, okay, now that I know better,
yeah,
I have to do better.
better.
And so I have to understand certain ways. I have to understand certain tech tendencies, and I might
get it out.
I might have to do some research and find out what's the best way to help this person. And then here's the thing: if you're doing that, well, then you almost become charged with being the person's helper, and then that's like, oh my God, that's a lot of work. I don't feel like doing that.
Okay, I'm about to get a little spiritual with y'all for those who. But what if that person is your charge, your task from God, and you feel like it's disrupting your life, but God says, I'm giving you this person not for that person, but for you. And what's on the other side of that is your blessing, because you're going to come out of this a different person. You're getting ready to walk in your purpose. And so many times, because it doesn't feel good, it doesn't look right, or we're scared what other people are going to say, or it's a disruption in our lives, we shy away from it. When on the other side, it's who God has ordained us to be.
Absolutely.
But that's a different,
But that's facts though.
Deep Shannon coming out.
Yeah. It's usually pretty shallow, but that right there, that's why I let you go. I did. I said, wow, we don't see this too much.
I appreciate it. But, I bring you a box of chicken next week. I know you're hungry.
You know what? I am. So I'll take your chicken. And I ain't gonna raise you nothing. I'll just take your chicken.
You can take my chicken.
Yeah. So, but shout out to everybody involved in really wanting to caretake for Kanye West. So Dave Chappelle is a real one. I think we can say that. He went out there and did that. And so
because,
Kanye didn't ask him to tell a joke on the spot.
Friends, did he?
He said, "We need to feel good, man. Tell a joke." Dave said, I don't know what I got, man. but it was like the point you made when the guy, you said he can't keep blaming that. No, he can't. But at some point, he's going to have to want to be better. And sometimes I'm going to tell you this: certain people do need medication. But medication a lot of times stifles your creativity.
Yeah,
and he's a creative person, and so that might be his fight.
Yeah,
but I hope whatever it is, I hope he can find his way out of that, and we can get the old Kanye back. Come on, Kanye, come back. Can we get a college dropout 3? Because I don't know, leave the 808s and heartbreaks alone. I mean, it was cool, you did that, and whatever else you were doing. But can we go back to the Kanye that we had back through the wire, when it all falls down? We need some of that, okay?
Yeah.
So, but we'll get into our topic of the day.
Topic of the day. Whew. Let me just say this. I've seen this on social media, in a couple of groups all over social media. Black women are taught how to live without a man rather than keep one. So let me just say this, okay? Here's the thing. When I first saw this, two sides of me reacted. Okay? My offended side.
Big sides. Family sides. Not individuals. Keep going. Sorry.
Hope you choke. My offended side got offended. Okay? Because every time I turn around, it's usually another black man making a post about black women are this, black women are that, or whatever. So, of course, my thing was, well, who's teaching these black women? And of course, they're going to go into the bitter mothers. Okay, well, where are the bitter daddies? Because if you want to teach your daughters how to be a great wife to a nice husband, men, be there to teach them. Now, I had to step back. My rational, objective side said, well, what were you taught? Okay. So, I shocker, I grew up with a single mother. And I was thinking, what was I taught about men in general, or like I'm gonna say husband. Okay. And the extent of my, I guess, lessons about men, I think my mother her thing was, I want you to find a man who is going to love you genuinely and not beat on you.
Wow, that's so vague, and it leaves so
Much open.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
what was taught to me was not this is how you love men, whatever. What was taught to me is um education. You know, you make sure that you get your education. You are, you're a black female, and if you get your education, they can take everything from you, but they can't take that. They cannot take your knowledge. Read a book, speak better, think better. That's how I was raised. And and my cousin said her mom told her, you can, it's good to want a man, but you don't ever need one.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, okay, I can see that also. So yeah, I mean, and then the times my mama would like throw shade at me and be like, "Oh, I hope you do find a husband that want to take care of you because you like expensive stuff."
Oh, shout out to
Shout out to Ike, the extraordinaire.
You found that. Definitely found that.
I made it, ma. So and I'm thinking, and it's not like it's a malicious act or it's a malicious intent.
Mm-hmm.
That I think it's the way that we have been taught. Really, for me, because there was not a man in the home, I can't see something that's not there. I can't learn something that's not there. I would say my uncle and my aunt were the like the model husband and wife, pair that I would like to say. I can see me and David in them a lot. They, and then of course my brother got married. That was like the other, married couple that I could look at and kind of pattern myself off after. But when it comes to being taught how to, I wasn't taught how to live without a man. I was taught how to live and survive for Shannon.
Okay.
And to make sure that Shannon did not have to depend on anybody, including the government, including another person, and to make sure that you can, my mom's thing was you make sure you can write your own ticket because nobody wants to have someone that's a burden. So that's probably why I work all the time.
So you were socialized to make sure you could take care of yourself. So even when you got into a situation where there is a partnership and, and a teamwork, you almost still don't trust that.
Well,
I'm not saying that there's not a trust there, but there's something in you that can't trust that because of what was taught to you.
And when I first got married, because I got married when I was 27, so that was a long time to. And I married a man who is a true provider, a man who does not believe in this new age 50-50. He's a true provider, and he shout out to you, Dad. But so it was kind of hard for me to. I felt like I'm giving up my last name and all my freedom. I'm giving up my independence, and so there was like I guess a tug of war, and it's kind of scary to think that I would have to just depend solely on.
But okay, so now something you said about I'm giving up my last name and all of my freedom, my independence. Okay.
Yeah.
But have you noticed how we look at a situation and we always pull out the negative, right?
Yeah.
So for your freedom and your independence come caring, comes love, comes support,
protection,
comes
security.
Protection, comes security. That we never look at.
No.
All as dudes, this is what we say. Yo, you know how much booty is out there? I'm not gonna get no more.
Yeah.
And so it's like that mindset of the negative of what I'm not gonna be able to get anymore versus what am I getting? Why did I choose to marry this person?
Right.
And so you never took into account that. But then again, you go back and say, from what I was taught, I wasn't taught to even look for those things.
You're right. No, I was taught to look for if I was going to be with someone, make sure that they loved me genuinely, and don't be with anybody who's going to hit on you. If they're going to beat on you, you don't need to be with them.
Yeah, and and we know about abuse goes a lot of different ways than actual just physical, right?
Yeah.
And
And
so,
I guess she knew that her daughter was not going to allow anybody to talk to her any kind of way just to begin with. So,
mhm. Well, that
but
could be a mother's knowledge of her daughter, but the thing is that okay, so those are the things you were taught. Statement is black woman was taught how to live without one rather than keep one. All right. And so now once we get to the point of
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 having,
having one,
yeah, how do you
do
keep them?
do you know how to keep it? Now, I'm not saying miss me with the thing. Well, good, you can do everything you want for a man. He can still not. Okay,
Because
all
you
right.
can only keep a man who wants to be kept.
So when you got a man who want to be kept,
Right. How do you
because
keep
I
him?
have met some women who pushed a man away, who was like, "No, I want to be here,"
Yeah.
and they were like, "No," because we make jokes about the Will and Jada thing, but if you dig down into the mental health of Jada,
Mm-hmm.
it was like you start looking like, wait a minute, so there's a mental component to this where I could have a guy who want to be here, and then I push him off, or I
Yeah.
take in the wrong one, or I try to overcompensate for something for some other reason. So that's what I'm saying is that you're looking at saying, okay, I have to be able to one have a guy, because I mean, you guys attract us from your look, your conversation is
Right.
cool and nice. Okay, so we here.
Now what?
Now what?
Yeah.
And so I don't think those conversations are had a lot.
Yeah.
The now what?
And
Now,
the basic things, cooking, cleaning, sexual pleasures.
that's
That's
that's basic.
yeah, like because it goes, especially being married, it goes so much deeper. And I know this Hollywood, mindset of what marriage is, and oh, I just want somebody to love me, and as long as he loves me, trust me, love is I'm not gonna say a small component, but love is a component, and it's not a real big one.
But I think a lot of times we see the fantasies of Disney, and
Yeah.
I've been saying this for a long time. Disney have been messing up women for generations. Okay, Disney's been selling this fairy tale,
Yeah.
and dudes look like, yo, that ain't real. And it's
Yeah.
like, but I wanted to come in
Yeah.
on the white horse with the hair
Disney and
flowing
Hallmark.
listen,
'Cause I look at these
oh
Hallmarks,
my
I be like,
god,
oh.
y'all killing these ladies out here because they're
Yeah.
watching that like, why can't we have a ice rink in the middle
And then we
of
watch
nowhere?
it from a little girl growing all the way up. So we expect, and these dudes are like,
That ain't real.
that ain't real? What do
That's
you
not
mean?
real.
What do you mean you can't rent out a whole stadium and
Have lunch on the 50-yard line.
yeah? What do you mean?
Nobody does that. So you have to have those conversations of what do we do once we get it? How do you become a wife? Now, the question is, we always say a woman can't raise a man. We always
And I ain't trying
we
to.
always say we always have these different sayings about what you are not, you can't teach. So if you are not a wife, are you fully equipped to teach the next generation
Mhm.
that? Or can you give them some tools so they can build off of?
Right.
Because like if okay, I knew a situation where the mother was a very dominant personality
Mm-hmm.
and ran off a good guy. So the daughter is like, okay, how does this work?
Yeah.
Because I see your dominance, but I also see that he's not here no more.
Right.
So am I supposed to be you? Or am I supposed to be something different? But guess what you're telling me? You're telling me to be you.
Yeah.
So now you got that flip. But the balance of the guy being there helps this out a lot.
Well, okay. So that goes back to my offended side. Yes, offended.
So offended, like offense.
Yeah.
Like offensive line.
I'm offended. You know what?
Okay. Keep
Because
going.
you built like a linebacker. Okay.
So your shoulder.
So my question is to the black men who always love to present these type of questions. When do we hold the men accountable? Because I would think that if you would want your daughter or even any of the young ladies, young girls, who are growing up to have a better outlook on men, on how to keep a man that loves them, wouldn't you want to say, hey, and for the guys, there should be a comma or a period or something to add another sentence, another thought. And to the men, you need to step up so black women are taught how to keep a man as opposed to taught how to live without one.
You know what? Valid point. I think a
Oh,
lot
I
of
know.
times
That's
when
why
you
I make
see,
nothing but valid
but yeah,
points.
that's why I
That's what I
said,
do.
but means forget what I said before. Now listen to this. You make a valid point on that, but I think a lot of times when this topic comes up or when somebody says this, I think this is a person coming from a place of, okay, maybe I had that or maybe I was around that, but I'm trying to date. No different than when we say, when you hear these men ain't this and these men ain't ready or they're not mature. She's coming from a place of seemingly being mature and ready to go out and be a wife, but she can't find a guy, and so we don't say you should put a comma and say mothers make sure your sons. We don't always do that.
I feel like we do more. We make more emphasis on what the women should be doing when raising their women, raising their girls and their boys, than we do emphasis on the men. And I think sometimes I feel like black mothers get blamed a lot for these type of things, but it's a shared responsibility, first of all. But I also think the reason why we kind of, it's easier to blame the mother because the mother is a person that teaches how to
Yeah.
nurture, not nourish.
Yeah. I was going to
How to
that.
nurture, how
Yeah.
to love, how to do, I guess, domestic things. But there's also a component because I feel like if I had a positive father in my home, because I had positive father figures, but if I had a positive father in my home, to see how a man and a woman react to each other in different situations, then
It helps you.
it does. It's a good blueprint instead of going out here and kind of
Trying to
winging
figure out.
it. Yeah, winging it.
It's why children that live in homes of doctors have a higher success rate of becoming a doctor.
Yes.
Because you had medical talk at your kitchen table.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if I get a chance to see the reaction, even when they're a little upset with each other, but 5 minutes later they're hugging on each other,
Right.
it's kind of like, okay, wait a minute, what was that?
Yeah.
I had to figure that out versus saying, I never seen the other side.
Yeah, and I had never, unless, like I said, my aunt and my uncle were like, to me, like the perfect marriage couple, and then my brother-in-law, my brother and my sister-in-law in love, they to me, of course, were like the perfect couple because the way that he, like, I had never seen a man like really dote and love on a woman or even his kids the way that my brother did. Because full disclosure, I had like this, and I probably still do a little bit, this distorted view of like black fathers, or really black fathers in general, because I didn't have that experience. So my uncle was the only person who I thought like really loved their kids. I feel like everybody else was just saying it because it was.
So you didn't think black men love their kids?
No, I did not. And then I feel like my uncle, because shout out to my Uncle Earl, because he, not only did he love his kids, he loved everybody else's kids. Like he was the one who had the house full of, and he's been in, he's been mentoring kids for all my life, whatever.
Yeah.
So, and it wasn't until my brother had kids and I saw like he loved his kids like a
So
mommy.
you got a chance to see it firsthand.
Yes.
Yeah,
when I saw my
difference.
brother have his kids, I'm like, whoa.
Okay, so
Then I saw you have, and my cousin Chris, there's some dynamic black fathers out there. Don't get me wrong. It just took me a while to realize that. Oh, okay, everybody ain't like my son right there.
But let me. Okay, so as a man, let me speak to the men out here. You do not understand. For the ones that are in the house and they see the results of it, they know.
Right.
But you do not understand how powerful your voice, your words
Your presence.
are.
Yeah.
It is you would have to go through a situation to where you got a chance to see it said and then saw it acted out and understand that it was because you said it and not anybody else. I was fortunate enough that all my buddies I grew up with, there was men in the house.
Yeah.
Right? There's a different way you react. No, not react. There's a different way you act going into a household led by a woman and going into a household with a man there. It's totally different.
Yeah.
Totally. All of my buddies, I knew when I went to their house, I didn't go and just fall on the couch and just.
Yeah, you knew exactly how you
had
to conduct yourself. Because you were in another man's house.
I was in another man's house.
And your dad taught you about being in another man. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if it was just a mom there, it'd be totally different, But when a dad is in the house, so your words are so powerful.
Yeah.
I knew somebody who their dad told them at a young age, never go out with a man who doesn't open the door for you. Now, they wasn't fortunate enough to get a life full of lessons from dad.
Right.
That was the one thing that they got that they held on to. And she held on to it. Just imagine if day in and day out, he was given that. Yeah. So I'm telling you, nuggets. Men, you have so much power. Listen, this whole thing was ordained. That's why when they start talking about the end of patriarchy and things like that, I'm like, listen, what you're trying to do is unravel the family. Yeah. Okay? Men have so much power. Why do you think mother said, wait till your father gets home? Because they knew. Okay, have y'all ever seen the video where the female lions are fighting the hyenas? And the male lion comes from out of the woods. And as soon as he comes out, the hyenas scatter like, oh, he's here.
Is that the Lion King?
No, this is real life.
Oh,
but you saw the video. He trotted out between his little trail. And when he came, the hyenas looked like, oh, that's your presence.
Right.
So you have to be in the household so that you can give those lessons and you can have those. You don't have people out here saying, man, black dads, they don't love their kids. And I can understand why you would have that feeling.
Yeah, because I honestly, I felt like there was only really maybe 2 black dads who loved their kids. And those were the black dads that I saw in my life who actually talked and laughed and joked and shopped and, spent real time with their kids. And I'm thinking, man, that's, so when I would see other people, my dad, his dad probably don't really love him for real, that was just my distorted view. But you and I have had this conversation a lot of times. And I've said, I'm not taking anything away from the mothers. So mothers, do not come for me because
this might be a whole show.
I have said that while mothers are extremely important, fathers are the most important. Because
you know what? I don't know. I think we need to save that.
Okay. Well, we will save that.
We need to save that.
But shout out to all the black fathers and all the fathers, but for real, all the black fathers, because society has told us, the media has told us. However, I know a lot of great black fathers out there who don't act like it's a chore or who don't want to parade because they're doing something that they're supposed to be doing. Like, fathering is just like breathing. It's, you need to breathe. You need to breathe to live, know. And so I want to say shout out to all the wonderful black fathers out there who actually understand what it means to their children to be a presence in their lives. And it's not about how much money you got. It's not about child support. None of that. You understand that this child, this seed that you created, this person that you created needs you. It's detrimental to their lives. So I can appreciate. Yeah.
And ladies, if he wants to be there,
please let him.
Please let him.
If not, you're going to have a child like me with a very distorted view of men. And I have a very distorted view of fathers in general, particular.
So look into your own heart. And if you have a distorted view, first of all, you have to acknowledge that you have a distorted view.
And I acknowledge mine.
And don't pass that on to the next generation.
No.
And that's the thing, is that you have to be honest with yourself and say, I have a distorted view. And guess what? You can keep it. That's your prerogative.
Yeah.
But want your kids to be better than you are.
Yeah.
And say, listen, I don't want to pass that.
And I will say, when the father is absent, then you force the mother to be something that she wasn't created to be.
No.
And I'm not, my father wasn't there, but man, my mama was like dynamic. Like I don't even know how she did it. Sometimes I think like, man, how did she even do that? I wouldn't be able to do it. David, come get these kids.
I'm tired of them now.
I'm
tired.
Come get these.
I'm
Come
sick
get
of
these
this.
children.
I'm sick of this.
Yeah. So but yeah. So you force these women to you
Yes.
put them in a place, and so if you do have a bitter woman because she's had to raise these kids on her own, can you really blame her?
Yeah, especially if you hadn't made the effort to be there.
If you haven't made the effort
to be there. But like you said, it on both sides. One, make the effort. Two, if the effort is there, allowing. Don't matter who he's dating right now. Don't matter none of that stuff. Unless it's what?
No.
You really trying to make this the last podcast? Ain't you? Hey guys, listen. That was our topic. We want you to comment. Like this, share it, follow the page, the last podcast. What are your thoughts? Black women are taught how to live without a man versus how to keep one. Do you think that's true or not?
Right. We can always do a part 2, a follow up.
Exactly.
But this statement can lead to so many other topics and so many other discussions. So give us your feedback. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for watching. Please continue to support us. We really appreciate it.
Yep. Let them know how to follow you individually.
You can follow me at, you mean my email?
Your Facebook page? Or
I don't know my Facebook page. My Instagram is Beat Slay Repeat. That's beat_slay_repeat on Instagram.
All right. You can follow me at V Radiotherapy. And make sure you follow the last podcast Instagram page.
That's the most important.
Yeah.
Follow the last podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, but I want all your angry emails to go to her. That's why I wanted her to.
Well, you can send them to me. You can send them. We love you guys. Thank you so much.
Hey, we'll see you guys next time on
the last podcast. Cling, cling, cling,
all right. We'll see you hopefully next week.
Hopefully.